So, did you guess it? Before I got to the kit, did you guess which kit it was going to be? I'm sure one or two of you did. These Saturdays come round quick, don't they? It's table talk time again. Hello, welcome to Model Kit Stuff and welcome to this week's Table Talk. My name is Jason and it's good to see you all, especially if you're one of my new subscribers. Loads of you joining just as everyone's coming back, winter's starting, everyone's coming back to the benches. We're seeing a bit of an uplift on subscriber numbers on top of what has been a growing number of subscribers per month over the last 3-4 months anyway. So usually the summer, it slows down a lot. The channel continues to grow, but it slows down quite a bit. But this summer, not so much. I heard other people complaining, but I've managed to ride that low period quite well. And now I'm sort of doubling or more than doubling what I would do on average before the summer. So all going very, very well. There's all sorts of reasons why that is. That's partly because people are coming back, and then new people find you. New people find me every week because of different first impressions or people searching builds and stuff like that. You know, I get people making comments to say, "Oh, I've just found your channel," and they're watching, you know, episode 10 of the Scharnhorst or something. So, you know, people come across in all sorts of ways, and it doesn't matter how you found me. You're here now. Welcome to the Model Kit Stuff family. We have a great little community going now, and I can say that because there are people who are regularly making comments on the videos. There are people that are regularly in the live chat on a Friday during the plastic build video, and there, you know, I have people that are regularly supporting the channel in all sorts of ways, and I have my regulars here on Table Talk, and you know, it's roughly out of the 10,500 subscribers, it varies between 1,000 and 1,300 people that will view Table Talk. You'd be surprised, some people get to it a fortnight later. Now, as it happens, I have a playlist for Table Talks, so I never delete them. I leave them there because I don't know if people are going to want to go back and catch up with them when they come back after the summer recess, if you like. So I never really delete them. I probably can delete the ones from 2 years ago now, but it's all time, isn't it? It takes time, so it's quicker for me to not delete them than to delete them. So yeah. So if you ever miss a Table Talk and you want to know what was talked about, you can always go back and find them. They're in a playlist, and they should all be in the order they came out. So yes. If you are new to the channel, a big welcome. What we do on Table Talk is we talk about what's going on with the channel, what's going on in the background, what we did last week, what the immediate future plans are, what are the more distant future plans, and you get an opportunity from time to time to get involved in some of the decision making in what we do. That's partly because I go up to my stash, and it's a bit like being a kid in a sweet shop, and I really want to build them all, but I can't, and then I can't make my decision, and I might get it down to 3 or 4, and then I might say to you, right, which one do you want me to build, and let you decide. Not always. I haven't decided yet whether I'm deciding or you're deciding what the next build will be after the tempo, but we'll talk about all of that later on. Right, so I said last week that there would be some format changes as of the 1st of November, but last week we were on the last week of the old format. So the channel will look and feel a little bit different going forward. as of 1st of November, and you'll already be starting to get some of that. So let's start with what we got up to last week. So we kicked off the week on Monday with the next part of the Endeavour build, and as you can see, we're starting to get towards the end. We were doing the mast and a little bit of the sail prep, and as those of you that watch Table Talk every week know, that build is now finished, and we didn't end up putting the sails on. However, for completeness, I've shown the process of how to what you need to do with those sails at least in terms of preparing the sails. But yeah, the sails were an absolute nightmare. And the box says an easy kit to build. And I don't fully agree with that, because the boom, particularly the hinge part of the boom, mounting the hinge on the boom, because it boom's triangular, was not easy at all. I really struggled with it. It was nearly one of those models where you just cut the mast off and it's just, you've only built up to the deck, so yeah, it's not a dead easy model. It should have been, wasn't. So it doesn't quite deliver what Amati appear to have intended. But yeah, that was the next step. So it's done. I think there's probably 2 more videos tops. It might, it should be about 2, I think, because there's not a lot of rigging on there. It was very difficult to show you the rigging, and that's something I need to think about for when I do some other large wooden builds. So what I've ended up doing is showing you how to do the knots, and then we might do you some pictures at the end. It'll be easier on smaller ships because we'll be able to get all of that in shot one way or another. And I've got some thoughts on how I can do close up and long distance at the same time and do picture in picture. So I have a little tiny stand for my phone. So what I can do is I can film on my camcorder as I'm doing now and have you seeing everything in shot, and then we can have a close-up being filmed on the iPhone, and that will give us a picture in picture, so you'll be able to get a good view of everything we're doing, and then a close-up of me with 2 tweezers in my hand trying to tie knots and what have you. So that's my thought process. I've done similar things before on other builds. Queen Mary 2, we did that a little bit on certain areas. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun when we get to rigging of that, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. That was Monday, and as always, it's a video that, well, it sits there and it slowly grows, but not a huge interest in it, and that's understandable. I get that. But at the time, people were interested to see it coming together, and I know some people have really, really enjoyed it. So if you're into it, you're really into it, and if you're not, you're just not. So it's a bit of a Marmite build, that one. So for those of you not in the UK, I just realised as I said it, it's a bit of a UK saying. Marmite, there was an advertising campaign in the UK from Marmite, which is the same as Vegemite pretty much in Australia, same sort of thing, where the advert run, you either love it or you hate it. No doubt they've probably run it in similar way internationally, and so because of that, you either love it or you hate it. When you mean that, people tend to say it's a bit Marmite. So Wednesday, first impression day, was the Airfix Shackleton, and I've been meaning to do that for ages. I showed it as a stash ad months and months and months ago, and I've been meaning to do it for ages, and I actually recorded it quite some time ago, and it's been sat there waiting to be edited for a little while because other things have come along I wanted to get out first and so on. So yeah, it was a surprisingly nice kit. I thought because of its age, I thought it was going to be soft moulding, poor detail, slam it together and hope that the outside bit's okay, because you don't need to worry too much about the inner bits. But actually, it was nicely detailed. It was a little soft moulded in places, and someone said there's an issue with, I think, was it the Bombay alignment or something like that. But you know, you'll discover all that sort of stuff for yourself when you build it, and how you then tackle that is down to the modeler, isn't it? But it looked like a really nice kit, and the reason why I got the Shackleton was because it's a nice looking aircraft, and I do really fancy doing the white knuckle rides one. Anyway, that was Wednesday. Then Halloween came along on Thursday. I've never done anything about Halloween here before. A couple of times we've done April Fools on the channel, but I've never done anything Halloween. But because I had that particular model down here waiting to be filmed and Halloween was coming, I thought, you know what, those two things go together really nicely. And I actually had a lot of fun doing the research of. It's quite interesting when you look where does well, if you've not seen the video, by the way, I'm going to drop some spoilers now, so if you haven't seen Thursday's Halloween special mystery first impressions, then you want to fast forward to the next section. Okay, gone? Right, brilliant. So yeah, I mean, when I started Googling Anne Boleyn and Anne Boleyn haunting, I thought there might be a story to tell and I might be able to introduce it with, you know, this story. But she gets all over the place in all sorts of different locations. So all of those things came from sightings of Anne Boleyn, or allegedly Anne Boleyn, or allegedly sightings. So yeah, interesting. Sometimes she's got a head on, sometimes she hasn't. Colour of her dress changes, you know. Yeah, read into it what you want, but a bit of fun for Halloween. I thought it was quite a little bit different, and I didn't pre-announce it on last week's Table Talk because I wanted to just keep you all guessing, and I wasn't sure that I was going to get it out in time, so I wasn't sure 100% I was going to get time to get it done, so that's why I didn't mention it last week. But there you go, an extra bonus one for you. And then that gets us up to last night's build, and yeah, I wasn't sure when I was going to put that Defiant build up, and I had decided it was good to keep it for when I needed it, and I needed it this week because I didn't have enough material for tempo. We'd done Scharnhorst the week before, and because over the 10k takeover we'd done it back to back, that's left me low on material. So if I did another 2 weeks back to back with the Scharnhorst, then I potentially didn't have enough material for either, and I'd have nothing, and I'd then be chasing my tail for weeks trying to catch up. So what I've decided to do is put the Defiant build in, just to put a little gap in there while I try and catch up. What happened on the modelling bench this week, however, has not helped that at all. So on the bench, I actually had some extra modelling time this weekend because I had Monday off. It was my last day of annual leave before Christmas, and with Alice and Daisy both being off college, we'd planned to go out and do some walking, but the weather was dreadful, so we ended up staying in and we watched Lord of the Rings, and we did like a big movie afternoon, and you know, we draw the curtains so it's dark, and we push the two sofas together around the telly, and got some popcorn out, and just enjoyed Lord of the Rings. Alice had never seen it before. I love the Hobbit films, and so does Daisy. So we were enjoying it. Alice didn't enjoy it as much as I thought she would, to be honest. But in the morning on Monday, I got some modelling time set. In my head, when I've got this extra time, I'm going to get loads done and get well ahead. Never quite works out the way I imagine it. Anyway, so we did a bit of everything one way or another on the weekend, but it didn't all go to plan. So started off with the tempo, and we put the colour down on the main body, and I had that same terrible reaction with the paint that I had on the Bulldog, where it's all starting to pool and fisheye. And it can't be that there was, it can't be the primer, because it was a different primer and it was primed 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks before I come to put top coat on. It can't be the top coat because it's a completely different paint and a completely different paint system to what I used on the Bulldog. So it was a Humbrol acrylic paint. So I've looked at it, and the only common denominator I can see is the airbrush. So when I look at the airbrush, there's no mechanical reason to cause that. So there has to be something else in the airbrush. So either there's a residue of something left in, or there's something been put in. It can't be residue because it would affect a localized area and then you'll have worked it through. And I'm pretty meticulous at cleaning my my airbrushes. You've seen my regime. You know I keep it wet. You know that I flush it through and give everything a good clean in between colour swaps, and then do a fairly full strip at the end. So it's not that. I do wonder though if either the lubricant I'm using, which is the needle juice, the Badger needle juice, either whether it's gone off and therefore it's reacting some way, or I've just put too much on the needle perhaps, and it's coming away into the paint rather than being a very, very thin film. Maybe there's a little bit too much on it. It's the only thing I can think of. So tell me, if you use needle juice, have you ever had that issue before with the paint interacting with what's on the needle? Because I've got to say, I've used needle juice for some years now, and I only really had that problem first time on the Bulldog, so I assumed it was one of the paint products I was using. So it's very strange that I've had it again. Anyway, it was having a terrible effect. It's actually ruined the tempo. So I've got to try and salvage that now because I don't want to finish the build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it down. So last time with the Bulldog, what I found was it pooled, and so I had lumps of paint and thin paint. What I decided to do was to drive the problem into where I wanted it. So rather than leaving it lumpy, I continued to put paint down on it, and as you'll see, it's pooled at the bottom. So I've made it do that by putting too much paint on so it would run. And that's going to be easier now because I can just roughly sand this with a fine grit so that I've got some bite again. And I can go in with a knife and scrape this back and clean off the collected areas. But really annoying. But yeah, I just flooded it with paint to make it pool where I wanted to so that I could manage it rather than like I did on the Bulldog. So yeah, I mean, you can see the colour I'm going for. It's like an ivory colour, which I think will work really well once I've got it on properly. So yeah, I wasn't happy with that. That's that spoilt my enjoyment of the morning. So I actually put that down Friday night. So just after the video had finished, I was doing some spraying, and yeah. So because I put so much paint on to make it deliberately pool at the bottoms so that I could remove it more easily than it having to rub the whole thing down. So if I hadn't done that, what would have happened is it was pooling and collecting in different areas. So I'd have had to have rubbed like near details such as hinges and stuff like that. So by driving it the way I've done it, I can now go in with my knife and just scrape it back, slice it off if you like, then sand it and blend it back in, and then we'll give it another go. And I intend to use the same paint, but what I'll do is I'll put some down on my mule first and make sure that it's working before I get to it. But yeah, strange that I've had that problem twice, but these things happen. So then Saturday, we got the second planking done on Sherborne, and yeah, she's looking nice. So you start off with something quite rough like that, and then by the time you've got your second planking down, it looks all right. Now I haven't sanded or filled or anything like this. We literally just put it down, and actually I used a little bit of Sunday morning just to get it finished. So so this has been videoed, ready to go, because I need to keep ahead on the Sherborne. So yeah, really happy with it. It's going to look great. It's not. Once again, I've done it. I've done it in a simplified way, but on this. I've introduced you to a planking fan. Now, if you followed my HMS Fly build, you'll have seen planking fans before, but you can see the difference that planning where your planks go can make to the look of it. Because if you look on this side, I've got planks of all different thicknesses with the tapering, some are wider than others. On this side, because I've used a planking fan, they're all pretty much uniform, and let's see if we can get you can see there. It looks so much better as it goes down. It looks like, well, as it should do really. Did need to put a couple of steelers in, but all good. So it's I can never remember if it's steelers is front and droppers is back or the other way around, but anyway. Yeah, all very good. Now, like I say, I'm doing this at a very basic level. It's for absolute beginners, so I'm doing the simplest of techniques. There are other ways, other things you can do to force the planking to do what you'd like it to do, and we'll cover those off in more advanced builds or different builds, but not in the complete beginners series. So yeah, there we go. So Sherborne Saturday came along very nicely, and then on Sunday we finished off that bit of planking, and then we moved to Scharnhorst, and that's allowed me to get some decks on. So we painted all of this in our dark grey from Colour Coat, and it's absolutely beautiful. You know, their paints are so lovely. Unfortunately, we have something to talk about with their paints though. We'll do that in a minute. But yeah, decks have gone down. Some of them were oversized, so I've needed to trim them. You'll see all that in the films. And yeah, it all fits lovely. And you know, all that hard work comes together and makes you quite happy. Looked a bit lighter. Some of you might have seen the picture of this already on Facebook, and it looked a bit lighter because I used my flash. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Looking really nice. Bit more to do on that though. Well, when I say a bit, a lot. Right, stash ads. It's a sad, black, dark day because I haven't got any. Got nothing to show you. I've had nothing related to modelling come through my door this week. It's absolutely unheard of. But Telford is on its way, and we need to have a plan for that. And you know, if I kept buying, then I'd have nothing to buy at Telford, and then you'd think to yourself, well, is it actually worth going? And then I wouldn't go, and then you guys wouldn't see it. So absolutely nothing come through the door. Doesn't mean we didn't put something else on pre-order, because we absolutely did. So one of the kits that I said right at the start of the year looked really interesting, from Mini Art, and a few weeks ago we shown as coming up, and a number of people are interested. That appeared on the pre-order section of Hannants, so pre-ordered it is. So hopefully that'll come soon. Depending on when the tempo finishes, I might build that one straight away. Straight out of the box, and see what we think. Such a lovely looking aircraft. Anyway, that's it for stash ads. Nothing to report, sorry. Right then, news, and just like we are reformatting the channel a little bit, we're reformatting Table Talk. We've been running it on 7 bells for a little while now, and I've been keeping my eye on what's going well, what am I getting interactions with, and what am I not. And there are some areas where not getting a lot of commentary from, so I decided that we'd sort of merge them into one, and that gives me a bit more flexibility on not having to talk about the different elements every single week. I can just put them in when I want to. So modelling news will also incorporated in generally news, as will other stuff. So anything we've basically got to talk about, we'll put in this slot now. We might have new releases to talk about. We might have what's going on the channel to talk about, and we can do it all in this little slot. So, news. I said I had some stuff to talk about, so let's crack on with that. Right then, let's talk about Telford first. So a couple of weeks ago, I didn't mention it last week, but a couple of weeks ago, I said that I had 2 kits to give away. One on the Saturday and one on the Sunday, and that if you were going to Telford and you were going to be there at 2 o'clock, you could come out, you could drop me an email, modelkitstuff@gmail.com, let me know that you're going to be there, and if you're going to be there, then come along to the Airfix, the area of the Airfix stand, find me at 2 o'clock, and hopefully there'll be a small number of you there. I like to say hello to people. There was last year, and I'll pull a name out of a hat, and whoever's name I pull out, we'll do it there and then live, maybe 2:10 when people have had a chance to turn up. We'll pull a name out of the hat, and they get a kit. Well, so far there's only about half a dozen people put a name in, and all of them for Saturday. So what I'm going to say is, if no one says, yeah, I'll be there on a Sunday, then we'll do both of those kits given away on a Saturday. Simple as that. But so far, no one said they're going to be there Sunday. It's looking like Sunday will be a quiet day, and Saturday will be a busy day. Lots of people appear to be planning to go on the Saturday. Of course, it is Remembrance Sunday, and some people have other commitments. But actual Remembrance Day isn't until the Monday, and I'll do my little bits on a Monday. So if you're interested in coming and saying hello to me, then 2 o'clock at the Airfix stand, drop me an email, modelkitstuff@gmail.com. Tell me your name, first and last, and which day, Saturday or Sunday, and I'll put you into the draw. at this moment, if you're one of those 6 people that have said, yeah, I'll be there, then you've got, there's 2 kits up for grabs at this moment in time. So you've got a pretty good chance that you'll walk away with an Airfix kit for nothing, in addition to whatever you intended to buy. So I think that's a good deal. Just drop me an email if you're going to be there, because I can't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the names down before I go, put them on bits of paper, we'll put them in a little bag, and then I'll draw it there at the time. So okay. Telford itself, I've decided that I'm mainly focusing on products and tools. So I'm going to get some new stuff that we can try and have a play with and see what we think. So all sorts of new stuff which will feed into our Mondays going forward and give us some more tool reviews. They're always popular tool reviews, so we can do that. And then on the model kit front, I'm looking for anything that might be a little bit unusual or different, something we haven't done on the channel before, or something that's you don't see much of, So I'm not going to go, oh look, there's a lovely Tiger One tank, and go and buy another Tiger One tank or something like that. Something that's a little bit different, that you don't see much of. So I'm open-minded as to whether it's a new kit or an old kit or whatever it is. I'm open-minded on size, and complexity, just whatever speaks to me. I've got a small budget that we're going to take, that's revenue of the channel, so we'll take a small budget and go, right, okay, let's just see where that goes and what that gets us. I can't take the whole pot of money that the channel has, because some of those pre-orders you pay for at the time, so I need to make sure that I've still got money in the pot to cover those. So yeah, it will be what will be. So we will see. And Saturday while I'm there is my shopping day, so if you do come and say hello at 2 o'clock, you'll get a look at what I've bought so far, and no doubt some people will be saying, have you seen such and such a stand, they've got a lovely tool, and then I get to have a nosy at what you've bought as well, and then I might go off and go and get one as well. So to be honest, at this stage I have still not had a look on the website to see what traders are going to be there. What I did last year is I went through all the traders and went, okay, could be interested in stuff off this stand, this stand, this stand and this stand. And that's because I was trying to manage taking photos, buying kits, looking at products, talking to people all in one day. And that's why I'm there for both days this year, because I can do it much more leisurely. Because the display stands aren't going anywhere, all the club stands and stuff. So I will focus on those on the Sunday when I can take the time to take photographs, do some good video, and hopefully do a better... I don't think there was anything wrong with the videos done the last couple of years, but hopefully taking a little bit more time, I won't miss things. So someone pointed out last year that there was no airliners on there. Well, I'll make sure there's airliners this year. All good. That's everything I've got to say about Telford. I think it's just getting there, and then I've got a hotel booked fairly nearby. What I'm going to do on that evening, I don't know yet, but I'll probably be thumbing through model kits and products I've bought. But yeah, that's the plan for Telford. Now, as part of sort of, it's not, I keep wanting to say relaunch, but we're not really relaunching. We're sort of tweaking the channel at the moment. As part of that, then at some point during the course of the next few days, there should be a new video going out to introduce people to the channel that perhaps not seen it before, tell you a little bit about the channel and what have you. So that'll be going out, and then that'll be the new video, welcome video when you reach my page. So that'll be happening. You'll see some subtle differences in the thumbnails. I've been messing around with the thumbnails, so you've already seen some of them, but you'll see some changes on like the tools and products thumbnails and stuff. They should be a bit less busy and a bit more punchy, is what we're trying to do with that. My video style and everything isn't going to change. You know, we're not going to reintroduce music particularly, but we will be for Wood Wednesday. So I have for all of my videos, I have this little introduction bit of music. I don't intend to change that, but Wood Wednesday feels like it needs a different tune. So I'm looking at that. Haven't decided on something at this point, so you may or may not see that this week. So yeah, and then the channel is going to feel different. So that's a perfect time to talk about the week ahead, isn't it? So let's do that. So on Monday we will be kicking off the new format of the channel with first impressions, and we've got a 1350 ship to get the week rolling on Monday. Then Tuesday you've got a breather to recover from the first impressions, and then on Wednesday we've got part 4 of our Sherborne build for absolute beginners, and we'll be at least kicking off the first planking. I'm not sure whether it's one video or two, it depends on how I edit it, but I want you to see me put every plank down, so it's probably over 2 videos. Yeah, so that'll be our Wood Wednesday, but there might be 2 videos on Wood Wednesday. If I'm doing 2 videos, then expect the first one to go out at the usual 8 AM UK time, and then it'll probably be half an hour later when the Sherborne one goes out. So that could be out at 9 o'clock rather than 8 o'clock. So look out for that. Wood Wednesday may have multiple videos. So keep your eye out for that, because there's some videos which are going to be quite short and focusing on tools and products and tips and tricks, and they'll all be kept to a Wednesday, so we might have multiple videos on a Wednesday. And then on Friday, I'm just looking at what my plan is. I plan to do Tempo 4, but I'm not going to have enough material, so it's likely to be Scharnhorst again. So we'll probably do Scharnhorst and then the Bolt and Paul Defiant for the next couple of weeks until I'm caught up with the tempo a little bit. So yeah, there you go. That is what's coming up in this week ahead. I've got no surprise videos for you other than the extra one possibly on Wednesday. Yeah. Right, special people have gone. That sounds great, doesn't it? No, what we're doing is we're changing it to thank yous, and we're changing it to changing the format a little bit. So if you are one of the beautiful people that every now and then puts £1 the way of the channel to help keep the cameras rolling, then what we're going to do is going to put your name in lights, and we'll just have those names spin past, and we'll reset it each month. So as the month goes on, we'll add your name onto the list, and then at the start of the month we'll reset it. So by the end of the month we might have half a dozen names on there, and at the start of the month we might be down to 1 or 2. If you are one of those people, then a massive thank you. You know it's greatly appreciated. Couldn't do what we're doing without the contributions that I get from the channel. So the Sherborne build, you know, that happens because the channel had the funds to buy the Sherborne kit. You know, I don't get, nobody gives wooden kits away. I've been given a one plastic kit now, is it? I've been given one plastic and one wooden kit. I do beg your pardon. The Endeavour from Amati was given to me, wasn't it? So yeah. So don't be thinking that because I've got 10,000 views, you know, people give me stuff to review on the channel. That's not the case. And because I'm autistic, I'm not very good at approaching people and going, "Hey mate, how do you fancy sending me some stuff and I'll review it on the channel?" So, you know, that's not something that comes naturally to me. My social skills aren't there to have a chat with people. So I know other channels clearly do that and, you know, talk to people and manage to persuade them to send them stuff. I'm never going to do that. I wait for people to approach me as a general rule. There's always, so the channel relies on buying stuff, and you know, that gives me an opportunity to be honest and not actually promoting things. So I don't see the channel as an extension of my hobby. I don't see it as you know, I run a channel so that I can get free things for my hobby, which I get the feeling from, you know, from one or two channels as you're watching that might be what they do. This is my channel is now an extension of my hobby in one way, as in you're seeing what I do and what I build, and I enjoy that. But the channel is a life in its own right and exists in its own right, and you know, we need to feed it, and that's where your donations are helpful. So in a minute we'll roll some names, and if those people have channels, we'll mention the channel as well. So thank you very much for all the support I've had. On the 4th of November, it is 4 years since this channel was officially launched. I think the first video went out the 8th of November, as I recall. So that will be Friday. So thank you so much for all the support. I greatly appreciate it. This channel is what it is because of you guys as much as it is from me. I might do all the donkey work, the videoing and the editing, but if you guys weren't watching and interacting with me, we wouldn't still be doing it. So we're here because of you, and you know what I do with you guys in mind as a result. So thank you very much. Have a great week. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you at Telford. There will be a table talk next Saturday, but I won't be here, so you know, I'll be in Telford. So have a really great week. Enjoy your modelling. Looking forward to saying hello to some of you at Telford. Hope you have a great time if you're going. And bye for now. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's free, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can hit my PayPal link in the text below. Every pound goes straight into the channel to keep the cameras rolling and to do more fun stuff for you to watch.